I have read that book. I have been reading that book. Which is correct? Present perfect simple or present perfect continuous? Hello, I'm Coach Karime and I've been teaching English for more than 20 years now. Remember, this class is part of a series of lessons created by Master Business English on YouTube to help you to learn and start using the different English verb tenses step by step, but especially on speaking and communicating fluently in English. Hello and welcome to Master Business English. I'm Coach Karime, and today's lesson we're going to learn about present perfect continuous, or also called progressive. Today you're going to learn why the present perfect is important. Its form, English structure, that means how to use it, when to use the present perfect continuous, common expressions, helpful hints, when not to use it, typical mistakes or errors to avoid it, and advice to learn this tense. And all of this is just to help you to speak and write more comfortably and confidently using this tense. So, why is the present perfect continuous important? Because the present perfect continuous, or also called progressive, is a special tense in terms of time. Okay? Because it connects or links both the present and the past. And also because it talks about an action that started in the past, okay, and it is still continuing now. Let's start with a little introduction. And if you haven't seen our video of present perfect simple, I will recommend you to watch that before starting this lesson, okay? Okay, so let's start with present perfect simple. I have read that book. When I say I have read that book, I need to think about what I want to communicate. Okay? And with this sentence, I have read that book using present perfect simple, I want to express that I read that book in the past. And now the book is finished. I don't have to read it. I'm finished. I'm done. Because it describes the completion of an event, action, or activity. In other words, the present perfect simple is focused on the result. The result. While the present perfect continuous, I have been reading that book. In this case, this means that I started reading that book in the past, and I am still reading it now. The book is not finished. I'm still continuing to read. I'm not done yet. Therefore, the present perfect continuous describes the activity. The present perfect continuous is focused on the process, the activity. Process, activity, but the present perfect simple is focused on the result. Okay? Keep this information in your mind. So, let's start to learn its form. We have and has because it is the auxiliary of the present perfect continuous. Been and the verb in ing. In a sentence will be the subject, the verb, the auxiliary to have, and we have here to conjugate it according to the subject, been, and the verb in ing, plus the complement. Let's see some examples. We have been working on this current project for 5 months. They have recently been having a few problems. Jane has been taking a very short break because of the fact that she has such a heavy workload. In all these sentences, we have used the present perfect continuous. Have been working, have been having, has been taken. Don't forget to conjugate the auxiliary according to the subject, and don't forget to add been and the verb in ing. Okay? In order to master the present perfect continuous, you need to know how to use that tense in the English structure. So you need to know how to create sentences with present perfect continuous in positive, in negative, and also into questions. Let's go into learn, okay, with examples. Subject, auxiliary, verb, complement for a positive sentence. And we have, she has been living in Dubai for 5 years. She is a subject. Has is the auxiliary, being living the verb, in Dubai for 5 years, the complement. In a question, we have the WH. For example, when, where, how long, how many, etc. Then the auxiliary, the subject, the verb, the complement, and the question mark. An example, have they been working for the law firm? Where have is the auxiliary, they is the subject, been working is the verb, and the complement for the law firm and the question mark. What about the negative sentence? We have the subject, the auxiliary, not, the verb, and the complement. In an example, I have not recently been leaving home early to get to work. Here we have I, the subject. We have the auxiliary and not, have not, but we also can use it haven't, the contracted way. Haven't, when we normally speak, we use, remember, the contractions. So I haven't recently, being leaving is the verb, and the complement is home early to get to work. So don't forget to apply the structures, okay? So when do we use the present perfect continuous? The first issue, or the first use, is that the present perfect continuous can be used for unfinished actions. Unfinished actions. It means actions that started in the past and still continue to the present. Okay? Let's go to understand this topic better with examples. They have been developing this software for 10 months. It means that this action started in the past, but it is still happening now. Okay? The action is still happening. It has been raining for more than 2 hours. The action started in the past, but still now it is raining. We've been waiting for the bus since 9 a.m. So we started waiting for the bus at 9 a.m., but now we're still waiting for the bus. She has been cooking dinner. She started in the past, but in this moment, she is still cooking the dinner. Cooking dinner. Other use. It is also used, the present perfect continuous, for temporary habits or situations. Temporary. That means that lasts a short period of time. It means that the action started in the past and also it continues to the present. But here the key word is recently. Short period of time, I mean temporary habits or situations. And the key word here is recently. Examples. I have been going to the swimming pool a lot recently. It means that the action started in the past and for a period of time, maybe 3 months, 4 months, okay, I have been going to the swimming pool, maybe 3 times a week, maybe every day, maybe twice a week, okay? But I'm still going to the swimming pool. But it's a temporary habit because normally I don't swim. I do not go to the swimming pool for swimming, okay? So it is a temporary habit. The next one. They have been having a shower in her mother's house while they're having some work done in their bathroom. Here, of course, it is also a temporary situation. Why? Because they have some work done in their bathroom. For that reason, they are having a shower in her mother's house. In this, I mean, to the present, in the present. So they started, okay, in the past, maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago, okay, I don't know, or some days ago. It is recently. They started in the past, okay, and this action, having a shower in her mother's house, is still happening up to now. Of course, not exactly in this moment, okay, but it is a temporary situation, just while this situation is solved, okay? So then after they can go back, okay, to their house. He has been learning photography a lot recently. So just in this period, okay, he started to learn maybe 2, 3 weeks or month ago, okay, and now he's still learning, but it is a temporary situation, okay? So maybe, I don't know, getting some lessons 2, 3 times a week, okay, but a lot recently, okay? So here we have the action starting in the past and also arrives to the present. But remember, in previous videos, I told you that 1 minute or 1 minute, 1 second, 2 minutes, okay, after now, it's future. So this action can also touch the future. I mean, in other words, can also arrive or reach the future, okay? Other use. The present perfect continuous refers to an activity which has been taking place in the recent period up to the present. Okay? Has been taking place in a recent period up to the present. Okay? The activity may have finished shortly before the moment of speaking or finish at the moment of speaking in the present. Okay, so it may have finished before the moment of speaking, shortly before the moment of speaking, or also finish at the moment of speaking, but in the present. Okay, here we have, right, some examples. Where have you been? I've been looking for you everywhere. Here, this person was looking for the other one, okay, and he or she stopped, okay, just shortly before the moment of speaking, okay, because now this person is talking or I am talking to you in this moment. So I'm not looking for you anymore, okay? You are out of breath. Have you been running? Certainly, again, this action, okay, this action have finished shortly before the moment of speaking, okay, because now I see you, you are out of breath, and I am talking to you, okay? So he stopped running maybe some minutes ago, okay? So the action wanting have finished shortly before the moment of speaking. The other, has she had a good evening? Well, she's been working on the project. So it means that the action, okay, may have finished shortly before the moment of speaking or at the moment of speaking, okay? We want to say that poor her, you know, she started to work in the past and she has been working so hard. So starting in the past and maybe, okay, she may have finished shortly the activity working, okay, before the moment of speaking. In this case, we have the action that can finish at the moment of speaking, but the action, remember, has started, the action started in the past and continues up to the moment that we are speaking, or shortly before the moment of the speaking, the moment where we are speaking. More. We use also the present perfect continuous for repeated actions, okay? Repeated actions over a period of time. And normally here we're talking about longer activities, repeated actions over a period of time. And here we are talking about longer activities, okay? So in other words, a repeated action, but several times. So it is used for habitual actions, for example, with the verbs live, teach, study, work, okay, that began in the past and continue up to the present. Let's go to understand this issue with some examples, right? I haven't been sleeping well recently. So it means that the last days at night, okay, I couldn't sleep very well. So, you know, but not during all the day, because I do not sleep all the day. It means that every night in the last, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, 1 month, okay, I couldn't sleep very well every night. So then I say, I haven't been sleeping well recently. Every Monday morning, we met in the same cafe. We have been going there for years. You know, here is a longer period. It's a longer activity because for 3 years, you understand? Or for years, maybe more than 3, you know, but every Monday morning, okay, we met in the same cafe and we have been going there for years, okay? So it is a repeated action every Monday morning over a period of time, okay? Good. The next example, she has been calling you all morning. So all morning, okay? The morning is not finished, and in different moments in the morning, she has been calling you. So again, it's a repeated action over a period of time. Here we can see repeated actions, repeated actions over a period of time. More about the present perfect continuous. It is used to talk about an activity or event, activity, action, or event that has recently or just finished or stopped, and has a result or a consequence now. But here we don't use a time word, okay? So it is an activity, event, action that has just or recently, okay, just recently finished or stopped, but it has a result or consequence in the present. Now, let's understand this issue better with some examples. She's retired because she's been working hard. She's tired. She's tired. So poor her because she's tired as a consequence of the fact that she has been working hard. Okay, so this action has just stopped. Okay, before she was working, and now this activity, this action, this event, the fact that she has been working is finished, has recently stopped. Okay, and what is the consequence? That, well, poor her, she is tired. Well, the next one. I have no money left because I've been shopping. Yes, the action has stopped also, stopped or finished. And it has a consequence. What is the consequence? Because I've been shopping, there's no more money. I don't have more money. I can't continue shopping. Good. So the consequence is that I don't have more money. So the consequence of this action is that I don't have more money in order to continue shopping. But the action has finished recently, okay? He has no internet connection on his cell phone because he's been watching YouTube videos for so many hours. Again, here, the action he's been watching has already finished or stopped. And what is the consequence or the result? That because there's no more internet connection, there's no more money, there's no more internet connection, therefore he can't continue watching YouTube videos. So the action has recently or just stopped, okay, and there's no more for continue this activity. It is the action has just finished or stopped or recently stopped. But also, the present perfect continuous is used to focus on the action. Do you remember at the beginning when we were talking about the introduction, of this lesson, I told you to remember that information? Well, here we are. The present perfect continuous is used to focus on the action, okay? Because we are interested in the activity. So present perfect continuous is interested in the activity. It is not important if the action or the activity has finished or not. That's not important. We are interested on the action. Let's see some examples, right? We have been negotiating the contract. And here we are interested in the negotiation of that contract. It is not important if the action has finished or not, but here, this activity is the most important issue. My hands are very dirty. I've been repairing the car. And we are interested again, focus in the activity, on the action, focus on the action, and we are interested in repairing the car. Okay? Other example, she's been writing her report. Yes, again, it doesn't matter if the action has finished or not. Okay, we are interested in the activity or focused on the action. Mike's been eating too much recently. He should eat less. He should eat less. Yes, of course, but we are interested in the activity itself. Okay, so here we are talking about the action. Mike's been eating. So the activity, we are interested in the activity, the action, or the event itself. Let's go to learn about common expressions. I have been working without stopping for 4 hours. Here we have again present perfect continuous, and the common expression, the key word here is for. In our previous video lesson, we learned about for and since, and we learned that for talks about the duration of the activity, the whole duration of the activity. So here we are using the present perfect continuous with for in order to express the whole duration of the activity. In this case is for 4 hours. And the activity or the action is still happening now. So I have been working without stopping for 4 hours. It means that the action started in the past. Okay, 4 hours ago started, and now the action is still happening. The other example, he has been studying since 10 a.m. Again, I will explain since, okay, that we also studied and learned in a previous lesson. And since means the specific moment that the action started. So if we use the present perfect continuous with since, we want to express that the action started in the past at a specific moment and it is still going on, okay? So he has been studying since 10 a.m. means that this person started at 10 a.m., but now the action is still in progress. It has been snowing all day. All the day is not finished, and it means that now it is still snowing. So the key word here is all day. They have been going out a lot recently or lately. So in this last period, they have been going out. They started in the past, okay, and up to now, they are still going out. And here the key word is recently, lately. It's a recently action. I've just been reading the complaint. I've just is the key word. And it means that the action started, is a recently action. It's a recently action, okay? Short time ago. How long have you been feeling so sad? With this question, with how long and present perfect continuous, we're asking about the whole duration of that action. Okay, in this case, the verb feel. As a little review, okay, we have for, we use for when we want to talk about the period of time. And we use since when we want to talk about a point in time. So then, when not to use it? Well, in English, we have the verbs are divided into stative verbs and dynamic verbs. So dynamic verbs talks about action verbs. They are action verbs, but stative verbs are verbs, state verbs of state. So when we have stative verbs, we can't use the present perfect continuous. Moreover, we can't use the stative verbs with any continuous tense, absolutely with any, okay? So let's go to see some examples in order to understand this issue better. I have been knowing about it for a long time. What is wrong here? Well, here it's the verb to know. The verb to know is a stative verb, okay? Therefore, we cannot use the present perfect continuous with the verb to know because it is a stative verb, and we cannot use the present perfect continuous with the stative verbs. In that case, we must use the present perfect simple. So we conjugate the verb with the present perfect simple in present perfect simple, and we give the same meaning of the present perfect continuous. So we say, I have known about it for a long time. I have known. In the next example, What's the problem? She has not been understanding this topic. Let's see. Exactly. We can't use understanding because the verb to understand, again, is a stative verb. So we cannot conjugate the verb to understand in any continuous form. And also, of course, we can't with present perfect continuous. And when we can't use the present perfect continuous with an stative verb, we use the present perfect simple in order to give the same meaning. And we say, she has not understood this topic. The next sentence, Peter has not been seeming very happy lately. What is the problem here? What is the mistake? Well, here, again, the verb to seem is a stative verb, or it is also called static verb, stative or static verb, okay? So the verb to seem cannot be conjugated in present perfect continuous. In this case, again, we use the present perfect simple in order to give the same meaning or to express the same. So we say, Peter has not seemed very happy lately. Let's go to see the next example. They have been liking this book all their life. What's the issue here? Again, the verb like is a stative verb, So we cannot use like in ing. We cannot use it in present perfect continuous. And here again, we're going to use the present perfect simple in order to give or to express the same information we want to the present perfect continuous, but we can't conjugate it in that tense. So we say, they have liked this book all their life. What about the other one? I've been being here for hours. And here the same. The verb to be cannot be conjugated in ing. So here again, we use the present perfect simple. And we say, I've been here for hours. Okay, let's go to learn the typical mistakes to avoid. Number 1, have you been preparing the presentation for the customers? Yes, I've. What's the problem here? Yes, I've is the problem. Because when we give a short answer, we cannot use a contraction between the subject and the auxiliary. We must say, yes, I have. So, have you been preparing the presentation for the customers? And you should say, yes, I have. So here the problem is the answer. Remember this, please. The next one, she's working for the bank since 2015. What's the problem here? Let's discover it. So, well, here is the tense. We can't use the present continuous with an action that started in the past and it is still going on. And more if we have the keyword since, because since itself means that the action started at a specific moment in the past and it is still going on. Therefore, we should use here present perfect continuous and say, she has been working for the bank since 2015. And that is correct. Here the problem was the tense. Let's go to see the other sentence. I have been understanding the lecture. Can you tell me the mistake here? Do you remember? Let's see. Exactly. The verb to understand is a stative verb. Therefore, we cannot use that verb and conjugate it in any continuous tense. So we cannot use the present perfect continuous. Here, The problem is the tense. I must use the present perfect simple. So to say, I have understood the lecture. Let's go to see the next one. We've been living here since 3 years. And here, what's the problem? Well, here is the keyword since. Do you remember when I told you that since tells us the specific moment that the action started? So here, we cannot use since 3 years because it is not the specific moment. For that reason, here, we can't use it since, but we should use for, because for talks about the duration of the activity. And because here we are using the present perfect continuous, it means that the action started in the past, lasted 3 years, the duration of the time, okay, and is still going on. So we say, we've been living here for 3 years. What about the last one? He has been teaching since 20 years ago. What's the problem here? Let's find it out. So here we have, well, 20 years ago. What happened with this word ago? Ago itself means that the action finished completely in the past. So it is the opposite meaning of the present perfect continuous because the action is still going on or has just recently stopped, but recently. Okay, so we cannot use years ago, less 20 years ago is a completely finished action. So here, in order to use the present perfect continuous, we must say, he has been teaching since I was 20 years old. But also we can say, he has been teaching since 2020. Or we can also say, he has been teaching for 20 years. And here we want to express that the action started in the past, but now is still happening. Advice. A really good advice to learn this tense. Practice. Use it. Do not study. Put it into practice. Use it. So, 1. Start making questions using this tense. And also reply the questions. Number 2, write some sentences using the present perfect continuous. Write maybe about yourself, a few things, not a lot maybe, or ask this question. What have you been doing recently? Or what have you been doing in general? And then start putting in practice with some sentences in present perfect continuous. So when you master this tense, then move on to the next tense in our series of lessons. Okay? Good. Now it's your turn. Write down in the comments some sentences in present perfect continuous. Okay? And do not worry if you make a mistake because we will correct you. Okay? Practice. Put them into practice. So thank you very much for today's lesson. Like, subscribe, and share it. And specifically down, okay, you're going to see a red square. Click on it, subscribe to our channel, and you will get a notification every time we will upload a new video lesson in order to help you to improve your English. So thank you very much. My very pleasure, Coach Karima. Bye. Thank you.